doing some stuff with the low minutes guys. Where would you say he stands right now?
We'll see how he feels. I thought he did great playing, so we'll see how he feels tomorrow. See if he can go.
And I also wanted to follow up, you were talking about checking off boxes, centers playing. You want to check and see how guys fit in.
Yeah.
How much of when you're figuring out Maxi's stuff, is there a minutes guideline that you're also working in? I mean, in past years they've done that with him. This year, he says there's not really a minutes cap on what he's trying to do.
There's not a minutes cap. I think it's, again, working him back into the fold coming off of an injury, and making sure that we don't send him, going the wrong direction with playing him too many minutes here after coming off the injury. But he's been great for us, on both ends of the floor. So hopefully we can build some minutes, and then also at some point maybe looking at him too starting. But right now our starter is Willie, and we'll see how that goes, and then we'll move on from there at some point to look at different centers.
I'm sure you were trying to tip us off yesterday when you talked about him being the glue piece. Are you familiar with what his last name translates into to German?
I'm gonna take a guess. Glue?
Yeah.
I think Maxi's very underrated at what he does for us as a team, but as a basketball player, as an individual, he's not just. And you saw that last night. Just not a shooter. He can put it on the floor. He can get to the basket. He can play above the rim, and then defensively he can block shots, change shots, and then he can guard 1 through 5. So I truly believe he's the glue that will help us, win games.
Is that something that kind of comes naturally? Brad brought it up earlier about Maxi. When he went up and got the dunk, and before he even lets go of the rim or hits the ground, he's pointing over at the bench to kind of get things going over there.
Yeah, he's got a great personality. You can see that come out on the floor. Loves to compete, wants to win, and being able to talk to his teammates as he dunks the ball is pretty impressive, of pointing over to those guys. But that's just, he's having fun, and that's what it's all about.
Jason, Trey said last night that this team is still searching for its defensive identity. Would you agree with that assessment, and how is this team specifically moving toward establishing that defensive identity as you guys still work through things?
Yeah, I think this is work in progress. We talked about it today about giving up 120 I think points. 41 in the first quarter. That's not who we are, and so we're working through that. We're talking through that. It's something that again we saw in Phoenix in the fourth quarter where we gave up a lot of points. So it's just understanding each other's responsibility as team defense. It's not just one-on-one. Because in this league, you play one-on-one, you're going to give up more than just 120. So it's just everyone being on the right page at the right time.
I'm interested in your perspective on this. You're almost 20 games into the season, nearly a quarter of the way through the season. What have you enjoyed most about coaching this group of guys now that you've gotten to get to know them, obviously on a game-by-game and practice-by-practice basis?
Yeah, they're a great group of guys. They all want to win. They all want to play. But even the guys who haven't played, heavy minutes have done their work, and they're great to talk to. And so a lot of personality in that locker room, not just Luka and KP and Maxi, but you got other guys that have personalities too, and it's been great to be around.
One question I get a lot from fans through social media is, well, you're trying these centers, why not Moses? And my response is, well, we're not in practice, so guys have to earn playing time. Where would you say he is? You've said in the past he's a hard worker.
He could get a chance. I think for fans or for anybody, there's if they look at our roster, we have quite a few centers. So there's a committee of centers, and at some point maybe he has the opportunity to play.
All right, we've got 2 on Zoom real quick. So Jess, go ahead. Hey, Coach. I'm doing a feature on assistant coaches, and I just want to know what your thoughts are on Jared Dudley and his transition into his first year coaching.
Yeah, I think Duds has done a great job. His voice, from playing to jumping right into coaching, the respect of the career that he's had, understanding, team basketball. He's not one that was going to touch, the top of the backboard. Works extremely hard, super positive, and just is very honest with the players. And I think he's done a great job. And then also he's another guy who can get on the floor and play. And he, loves the talk. And today he's talking during the scrimmage or the play, and then afterwards talks to them as a whole. And I think they respect that, and we're lucky to have him.
Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Jason. Recently, we've seen Trey Burke get some more minutes with Jalen out, and kind of seems like he's almost in a similar role that Boban has, where he can sit several games and then come in and produce for you. Is it harder for a guard to be in that situation compared to a big man?
That's a great question, Mike. I've never been in that situation, so it might be for Trey to answer. It might be harder for any player to, have to wait, 3 or 4 games and then get an opportunity. And that's going to be an issue, not, at some point when we are fully healthy, someone's not playing. And so I think that's just a numbers game. Basketball allows you to play, 9 to 10 at the most. And so, but I think what Trey has done with the injuries, again, I thought he was great last night, being able to be the backup in that Phoenix LA series, and then last night. So again, he's someone that could break the glass, him and Boban, but also, they have the opportunity, unfortunately, that they're going to have to sit when we're healthy.
See, do you think there's a minutes range that you guys want to keep, with your playing time?
For me personally,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Obviously, I'm not in best condition yet. I've been out for a long time, so game condition is always a little bit different. But I'm going out there and play as hard as I can for as long as I can, and I got to set myself out if I can't go anymore.
And is that what you spent a lot of the off season doing? Is kind of building up, because last year you kind of wore down at the end of the season, but you were like asked to guard one of the toughest guys, So was that part of your off-season thinking in terms of kind of building up your stamina for longer stretches?
That too, but the number one thing was just to get rid of the Achilles problems, so I couldn't do as much as I wanted to do. But it's obviously a main focus. You want to be in the best shape possible. Yeah.
A couple things. First of all, last night, I don't remember what the play was, but you kind of doubled over, and it looked like you were still fighting some discomfort there.
Yeah, that's I noticed like one play before, that's when I should raise my hand, sub myself out, because I was really playing to exhaustion. And I knew immediately it was my mistake. I didn't even see the guy leaking out because it was a leak out dunk then. That's when I have to take myself out.
More importantly, we did a little research, which is always dangerous, but what does your last name mean translated to German?
It means glue.
Glue, right?
Yeah.
So, and J-Kid used that word several times yesterday to describe you. I don't know if he was trying to tip us off and what that meant.
I don't know either. I never talked to him about it, so you got to ask him.
But he believes you are that sort of a player for this team. So, is that something it just comes natural, or it's part
Well,
of
first of all, that's a very
high.
high.
Means glue. You
Yeah.
kind of have to be.
I don't have to be that's very high praise from our coach. Obviously there's a lot of responsibilities, and I take a lot of pride on the defensive end, so I have to do a better job on communicating, because yesterday we did some cleanups today on the court, but there were several situations where I was involved too, and it's not just always one person, it's everybody who has to talk and make sure that things are going the right way. But I take a lot of pride in defense, and I would say I can see things in scheme, so I have to do a better job communicating to everybody who's out there.
Trey said last night that this team is still searching for its defensive identity. What do you think he meant by that, and do you agree with that assessment and how you guys are trying to establish that defensive identity?
We have good defenders on the team. We have guys that are willing to play hard defense. They want to play physical. But like I said, there's like small things like yesterday, a couple switches here and there, and miscommunications that we have to like clean up because obviously this is a team. We haven't been really fully healthy yet. It's a new coach and everything, but you got to come together. And sometimes in games you don't have the time to talk about it that long, so it has to be like an automatic thing. And yesterday we had like a couple situations, especially in the fourth quarter, like down like from 6 minutes to go, where we had like small mistakes that we have to clean up because that has to be an automatism for us, basically.
As far as Cleveland's concerned tomorrow, what kind of they present in terms of their big lineup that they have that you guys will be looking to defend tomorrow?
Today we focus more on what we did wrong and focus on us, especially like offensively and defensively, all the little details, because mostly it comes down to like our basic rules, because every system that other opponents have, we have an answer to that. We just gotta be in that system and play to make the right play. So we're not really worried about their lineup or if they play tall or whatever. It's more about like that we do the right thing, because then we can clean up and we can live with some shots.
Kind of an offbeat question, but there was a play last night in the first half, and I can't remember if you were rebounding a follow or getting an alley-oop. But you actually dunked, and before you even hit the ground, you pointed at somebody. Who were you pointing at?
I don't know. That was like out of the moment. I just pointed at the bench. I dunked and I saw the entire bench jumping up, so I try to like, just be involved, get everybody hyped. I think if we can do stuff like that as a team, it gets everybody hyped and ready to play.
Takes some dexterity to do that. I thought it was pretty cool. All right,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, good. Jess Armstrong has one on Zoom.
Hey Maxi, I'm doing a feature on the assistant coaches. I just want to know what it's been like working with Jared Dudley and him just playing last year. What's that relationship been like?
First of all, he's a very fun guy, and he's very experienced. So I'm doing actually like videos with him before games, so he really helps me out a lot. All of the small adjustments that I make for the next game are because of him, because I watch videos. So he's really doing a great job. He obviously understands the game really well. He played super long. He played with like the best players in the league. So I'll take as much as I can, because he has all the knowledge that will help me to get better as a player.
All right, Tim Cato.
Hey Maxi, does your defensive approach change, or do you kind of take into account the lineup around you when you sub into a game? I guess in some ways I mean like whether you're the only big on the floor or depending on who your big man partner is. But is there anything changes defensively about how you play depending on the teammates you have on the court, or is it strictly determined by kind of your matchup and who the opponent is?
I think everything a little bit, because obviously if I'm playing the 5, I'm going to guard the 5 guy. I'm more involved in a pick and roll. If I'm playing the 4, a lot of times I have more of a chance to like play help defense, and then it depends on the matchup. Is it a shooter or a non-shooter, whatever, and depending on that I can help in more or not. So it always changes a little bit. I would say more on like the position I'm playing and the opponent that I have, and then our own lineup.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're at your best when you do have that freedom to rotate onto the weak side and chase blocks, as opposed to kind of
I think I like. Obviously I like playing defense. Doesn't really matter where, but I think for me like it's cool to be on the weak side, just because I also see everything and I can like talk to people where to be. It helps sometimes because sometimes things happen so fast that you don't really see what position am I in. Am I the low man, the high help, or whatever? So when I'm low, I can see it and communicate better, obviously, than see the whole court.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Thanks, man. And I guess the point when you dunk, that's got to be the new little
the new one.
Call to the bench.
All right, I'll try to get more dunks though.
All right, thanks for your time, Maxi.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy.
Appreciate it.
All right.